Hi everyone, Joe here with Midwest Military Equipment out of Washington, Missouri. Today we're going to take you around this 900 series truck. So this truck we recently got in, we actually had a customer come in from Oregon that wanted a het. And I said, all right, well, what do you have now? He goes, well, I want to trade in my 900 series truck. So he bought this truck about 7 years ago, has been keeping it stored inside of his heated shop up in Oregon, and just kind of a cool recreational truck. He said, I want something cooler, bigger, badder. So he actually came in a couple weeks ago, purchased an M1070 from us. We had our driver, Mike, go ahead, truck that out to Oregon, get it delivered for him. Our customer, Terry, super happy with his het. It was a really, really nice truck that he got. And he said, I think you're really going to like the 900 series truck that I'm trading in. So we went ahead, brought this one back, recently just ran it through the shop this past week, and got it listed up on the site. And today I wanted to kind of walk you around it. It's a really unique truck, has a really cool camouflage pattern on it. I really enjoy driving this truck, especially this unit has got the upgraded 1600 R20 tires on it. So originally these trucks had a 48-inch tall 1400 R20 tire. This truck has been upgraded with the 1600 R20s. One thing about putting 1600 R20s on these 900 series trucks, not only does it increase your top speed overall on the truck, but drivability, believe it or not, is I personally think is a little bit better with the 1600s. The 1400s have been discontinued by a lot of manufacturers, and they've kind of dried up over the past few years on the surplus side as well. So predominantly what we've been doing is putting the 395/85 R20s as a majority of our trucks. Like this one right here has got 395/85 20 Goodyear MVTs. The reason why we do a lot of 395s on trucks is people that are going to be using and working the trucks for a commercial application, that 1.5 inch shorter tire really doesn't affect the speed of the truck, because these trucks stock with a 1400 R20 have a 60 mile an hour top speed. But that 1600 R20, it's a really big tire, and if you're putting it on a road tractor situation or a dump truck situation, you just don't need that type of tire when you're using a truck for more commercial application. Now, if you're going to be using the truck for pleasure, fun, playing with it, some light work here and there, work around the farm, the 1600 R20s look absolutely stellar and really fill out the fender of the truck, and overall, just appearance-wise, one of my favorite looks on these 900 series trucks with the 1600 R20 tires. So it's about 18 degrees this morning. This truck's got an 8.3 liter Cummins in it. I'm gonna go ahead and crank it up and pull it up here, and we'll go ahead and walk around the whole outside of the truck. Come on. That is unbelievable. So this truck's got the 8.3 liter Cummins turbo diesel engine in it. The earlier variants of the 900 series trucks, which would be this particular one we're looking at, is a 923A2. So your 923A0 and your 923A1, all of those units had an NHC 250 Cummins. That was an 855 cubic inch, non-turbocharged Cummins diesel engine. Same Allison automatic. What they did is the military, whenever BMY took over the contract from AM General to build the 900 series trucks, the later iterations, they added updates like ABS systems, and then that 8.3 liter turbocharged Cummins. The 8.3 liter Cummins is a lot smaller displacement than the NHC 250 Cummins, but being that it's turbocharged, you had about the same power. They actually, I believe, had a little bit more power than the 250 Cummins in a stock configuration. So we'll go ahead and pull this truck forward here. We'll continue this video walking around. Pretty amazing how this truck fired up in the weather. I mean, you can see my breath right now. It's 16 degrees here at our lower facility in Washington, Missouri. So I'm gonna go ahead and kick all the lights on this truck, and we'll go ahead and continue to walk around the outside. I'm going to let it run. All right, so now that we've got the truck pulled out here where we can actually walk around, we got about 10 inches of snow here about a week ago, and it's still lingering around, so a little bit easier to walk around than walking around in the ice that the truck was parked in. So being this is a 923A2, this has a 14-foot cargo bed. One of the nice features about these cargo beds on these trucks is the cargo bed sides actually fold down. So this is a fold down bed side. They're all steel. They've got tie downs. That's what these bump outs are here. On the interior of the bed, they have tie downs on them. And then this one's actually equipped with the cargo cover and the factory troop seats assemblies. Walking back here, you can see these Michelin XZL 1600 R20s. They are pretty close in between the axles together with the 1600 R20s. We've added 1600 R20s to a ton of trucks. We get a lot of questions. Hey, aren't those a little too close together? Yeah, in some situations you potentially could catch a rock, but the likelihood of that is not very likely for a majority of these trucks that we sell with the bigger 1600 R20s, as I said earlier. People are not using them in a heavy off-road situation. Walking towards the rear of the truck, tailgate also folds down on this and is removable. Steel tailgate. Not unlike the FMTVs where all the bed sides are aluminum, these are actually all steel bed sides on these trucks. Going over this side, not a whole lot different. You have got a storage toolbox located here on the passenger side, along with all your air tank drains. So these trucks do have full air brakes, so it is important to be able to drain the system from time to time to get moisture condensation out of it. They do have an air dryer system that eliminates some of that air and some of that moisture out of the air. However, it's really important if you're going to be parking the truck in a climate where your temperature changes a lot, or you're just going to be using the truck in general. It's always important to be able to drain those air tanks. The military says drain them daily. A lot of people don't operate these trucks daily that we sell them to. So anytime you run the truck, I always recommend drain the air tanks when you're done, just to be able to make sure you've got all that moisture out of the system. Exhaust comes out here on the passenger side on these 900 series trucks. I'll go ahead and open up the passenger side door here. You can see they've got a fire extinguisher mounted in there. Overall, the interior on this truck is absolutely phenomenal. It's all been bed lined on the inside, and then the seats have got custom reupholstered seat covers on them. This is an additional storage box here. And then you can hear that 8.3 liter Cummins engine running there. All new filters and fluids throughout on this truck. One thing that we did do that he didn't have done was added our LED headlights. These are a standard 12 and 24 volt omni-volt LED headlights. They're super bright. A lot of inquiries we get on the 900 series trucks are you able to add a PTO or air conditioning? Yes, we can add a PTO and air conditioning to these trucks. So let's go ahead and jump in the cab of this thing. We'll take it for a quick spin and kind of show you how to operate the inside of this truck and get it out on the road. All right, so now that we're up inside the cab of this 923A2, very simple, very utilitarian. I went ahead and pushed the throttle. I had that idled up a little bit just to let the engine warm up quicker. As you can see my breath right now, it is brutally cold here this morning. So wiper controls, it's kind of unique. They actually have a left and a right hand wiper control knob. So this one will run your right wiper, this one will run your left. Your heater blower motor switch is right here to be able to turn the heat on. 3-lever light switch, turn signal switch. Very utilitarian, very simple. This is your gear range selector. One thing about these trucks, similar to the newer trucks that replaced them that have the touchpad shifters, is you're actually able to independently lock the truck in each gear. So, for example, on the shift selector here, if I only wanted it to stay in first gear, I would take this range selector all the way down to first. It's not going to allow the automatic transmission to shift out of first gear. So, a little bit about these transmissions in these trucks. So these are Allison AT654 transmissions. They are a 5-speed automatic transmission. They are super robust. We really do not get many inquiries on people needing replacement transmissions for these trucks just because they're really, really strong. And it's kind of one of the first transmissions that made Allison really get the name that they have today. You know, these transmissions have been being installed in these trucks since the early 80s, and they've just proven themselves as a super robust platform. They're a fully mechanical transmission. They have a kick-down modulator that goes up to the fuel injection pump to be able to actuate the shift points on them, so there's no electronics in the transmission itself. So going back to that super rugged, utilitarian, not a lot of electronics, it's a very nice feature. Right here we've got the transfer case lever. So 900 series trucks have a 2-speed transfer case. Right now, currently with the lever closest to the floorboard, it is in high range. One thing I want to make sure to tell people, if you own a 900 series truck, or you're looking at a 900 series truck, or you've got the opportunity to drive one, always make sure not to run the truck in reverse in low range. So the helicoil cut gears in the transfer case itself do not allow these transfer cases to run in low range in reverse. What will happen if you run your truck in low range in reverse is you will actually blow the transfer case apart. We've sold a ton of transfer cases on people that have used them in commercial applications. They put guys that don't have experience with these trucks in the trucks and be able to go ahead and run the truck in low range, and they end up exploding the transfer case in reverse. So it will work just fine in forward motion, but in reverse, definitely do not recommend doing so. Right next to the transfer case shift lever, we have the parking brake lever itself. So this is another question that we get quite a few people. We have a spring brake override switch. Excuse me, a spring brake override switch on the dash itself. That is not your parking brake switch. So that is a spring brake override lever. The parking brake is right here on these trucks. So these have actually got a transfer case brake, and that's what sets the brake for the truck itself. So I went ahead and threw that down. I've got the truck locked in first gear. Go ahead and pull it out here. I will go ahead and pull the defrost levers out. Turn the blower motor on. We got some heat coming out. Take a little bit for this one to heat up. Hopefully the windows don't fog up too bad. One thing also on these trucks is they are not a full-time 6-wheel drive. So the rear axles are always driving. To lock in the front axle, you have an air in and out lock switch here. So go ahead and flick that over to in. I've just went ahead and locked the front axle out of the truck. Flip it to off, go ahead and kicks it out. One thing, as you heard probably audibly there, these do have, it is an air locking front differential. So whenever you flick that switch over, it goes ahead, supplies air to it, and then whenever you turn it off, it goes ahead and vents it. So that's why you heard that little bit of air, that little pop sound there when operating that switch. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw the range selector 1 to 5, take this thing out for a quick little test jog. So this particular unit has the factory steel hardtop on it. Majority of the trucks that came out had soft tops, a removable soft top assembly, which is a really nice feature. Then they had a lot of units with the steel hardtops. The steel hardtops are really, really nice because they are insulated, which is a really great feature if you're going to be using this truck in a cold environment. The soft tops are great, and they are insulated as well. However, they're just not as robust, and especially if you're using one of these in a dump truck situation, having that hardtop's a really nice feature. We also offer a upgraded fiberglass hardtop. So it's been a few years now. The 900 series parts on the surplus world have kind of started to dry up on what the government has been selling. That being said, the hardtops, tons of trucks were surplus with soft tops. A lot of people wanted to add a hardtop to their truck, so they were a very popular item. So we've actually worked with a manufacturer and came out with a fiberglass hardtop kit to be able to install on these trucks. We keep those in stock. We are adding a 24 by 15 sliding rear window in our fiberglass hardtop kits. These have a sliding rear window. It's just a little bit small, so with that 24 by 15 window, it's slightly larger. And that fiberglass roof kit goes right on. You can add insulation, headliner, anything of that nature. 900 series trucks are probably one of my favorite truck to work on. The RF611, the Rockwell 5-ton top loader axles. They are super robust. Pretty much axle seals is all we ever replace in them. As long as they're maintained properly, they hold up very, very well. Overall, 900 series trucks, besides for alternators, starters, like any sort of big truck, and brakes, that's about it on them for maintenance items. Our upgraded air dryer kit is a very nice feature. to be able to install on these trucks when the older air dryer fails. But overall, they're a very robust truck, and they prove themselves time and time again. You know, I've seen some of these trucks do some absolutely terrible things in regards to deep water and mud and things of that nature. You know, we've got a department that we built a high water rescue truck on a 900 series platform quite a few years ago, and they sent me a video. Actually, it was a couple of still shots and a little short clip. They had water almost up to this windshield dash in their truck. It was absolutely crazy, and they still drove the truck out of it. You know, the intakes are high on these, the exhausts are high on these. As long as you try to go ahead and make sure all your vent lines are raised up and everything, you can ford some pretty crazy water in one. I don't recommend doing things like that, but in their situation, you know, in an emergency situation, they had to do what they had to do, and the truck performed flawlessly for that. So overall drivability, trucks run terrific. They get out of their own way. I mean, with these 1600 R20s, it does cut a little bit of your power down out of the hole, but overall not too bad. Very simple to drive. They have full power steering. We'll go ahead and pull this truck back into our lower lot here on where some of our finished inventory is. And we're going to show you what replaced these trucks today. So the 900 series trucks were built from the early 80s to 1991, 1992 is where BMW quit production on them. The reason why they stopped production of these is they actually came up with a later iteration of what we call the FMTV. So the FMTV family of vehicles is what replaced the 900 series trucks in your M35 A2 and A3 variant of trucks, which were a 2.5 ton truck. So the FMTV family of vehicles, what they did is they created both a 2.5 ton chassis and a 5 ton chassis. So I'm gonna jump out here real quick, open the gate, and we'll show you kind of the differences and what some of the upgrades they did on the trucks. Long way back up in this thing. I'm gonna pull right over here because we got two LMTVs. We got a single axle and a 6x6 right there. Gonna park this one next to it and just kind of go side by side, show you some of what the different features and what the updates were that they did. You know, the biggest thing that they did was obviously aesthetically too. These are probably one of my favorite looking trucks appearance-wise. They just look really tough original. When you think of a military truck, you think of a 900 series truck or a Deuce and a half because they're badass looking. I don't know any other way to say it, especially with the 1600 R20s on it like this one has. They just look really, really tough. So we'll jump out here and we'll show you two of the different FMTV family of vehicles right here. And I love these older 900 series trucks. They're just really neat. So looking here, what we've got is this would be a MTV, which is the 5 ton variant. And then this is an LMTV, which is a 2.5 ton variant. You can see overall, you know, size comparison, trucks are very comparable in size. This particular unit is a long wheelbase variant, similar to that tan 934 that we've got parked over there. So these two would be the same pretty much truck. However, that unit there, this is what actually replaced it. So key features, as you can see, obviously they changed over to a cab over design. With the cab over design, they added cab air ride. That was one of the main things they wanted to do, and add a completely sealed cabin. So as I said earlier, the 900 series trucks came with soft tops, hard tops, things like that. Certain variants of the 900 series trucks that had hard tops actually had a gutter hole in the top of it for a turret assembly. We'll go ahead and throw a photo in of a truck that we've got with a turret on it just so you guys can kind of see what that looks like. So what they did with the FMTV vehicles is they went ahead and integrated into the cab design a turret ring. So like this truck parked here, it's already got a turret ring. So that ring that you see in the top of the roof assembly is actually removable, and you can go ahead and put an M66 ring assembly in there to be able to have a machine gun mount or other different mounts on top of the truck for different fire applications. Another important feature of it is they got rid of the top loader axles. So top loader axles were used in the 900 series trucks and the M35. They've been used in military vehicles literally for the past 70 years, 60 years. Super robust, really awesome, but what they did to respond to get better ground clearance is go to these RF611 axles. So if you look at the two axles side by side here, as you notice, this looks like a standard truck axle where differential does not have a forward and rear facing yoke. If you look at that 900 series truck right there, you can see you've got a differential output flange, being that it's a top loader, both front and rear. Really nice feature about the Rockwell top loader axles is that pumpkin assembly is actually the same from the front axle to the intermediate axle to the very rear axle, versus on the FMTV family of vehicles, your intermediate axle is slightly different. These are a sealed knuckle front hub assembly. So if we take a look at this 900 series truck here, you can see that the front axle are not a sealed knuckle. So they've actually got zipper boots. These are kind of a common, not failure item, but they just deteriorate over time with the age of the vehicle. So those zipper boots keep dust, oil, grease out of the actual hub assembly itself. You do have seals inside the hub, so that just protects the collar and the joint of your axle shaft going out to your hub assembly itself. On these, being that they are a 2-to-1 planetary reduction hub, your hub is actually a fully sealed assembly. So if I were to turn this tire sharply right now, you would actually be able to see the axle shaft joint, versus on those, you're not able to do that because of the zipper boots. So how they responded to gear ratio with these is these are originally a 390 gear ratio. What they do is they planetary reduce that gear ratio 2-to-1 at the hub assembly itself. Other than that, you know, the 900 series trucks, they have the batteries underneath the seat. Later iterations of the 900 series trucks, they went ahead and did a battery relocate kit that put the batteries where the side passenger toolbox was. On the FMTV family of vehicles, they went ahead and did that update where the batteries were outside of the cabin of the vehicle, right there on the side. The exhaust, they lowered the exhaust exit on the FMTV family of vehicles. And another thing that I really like on the FMTVs that they don't have on the 900 series is all your remote fills and your air filter, your coolant level, everything's very easy and simple to get to. You know, when they put the CAT engines in these, they went ahead and did that remote fill and remote air intake and coolant reservoir. That way everything's right there, super easy to access and super easy to check by the operator getting in and out of the vehicle, versus the older 900 series trucks. Got to walk around to each side of the truck, dipstick, open the hood to check the coolant. You know, this is more old school, and you know, it's really cool, but you know, guys that are going to be working, we got a lot of really good customers that use these trucks for utility line maintenance and mining applications, high water rescue applications. When you're going to be training an operator to operate a truck, you know, they've been slowly rotating these older 900 series trucks out, going to the FMTVs, just because of a lot of simple basic updates like that. You know, having a solid cab, the cab's on air ride, user and driver ability on these overall is superior in my opinion. But nostalgia, overall shock and awe, nothing beats a 900 series truck. You know, they had these variants of trucks and dump trucks, wrecker trucks, extended wheelbase trucks, expandable box trucks, just all sorts of different cool applications, and really love driving these trucks. These are actually what I started my business on. I originally bought an M923A2. Once all the M923A2s were surplus, I got into 900 series trucks, and I've done tons of 900 series trucks, driven these trucks tens of thousands of miles, and I could not speak highly of a platform. They are just absolutely terrific and fun to drive. And I hope this video today kind of explained you some of the different cool features of this particular 900 series truck, along with some of the different iterations on what they did and the changes that they did over the years on these trucks. You know, the FMTV family of vehicles first came out in 1993, you know, and this is just kind of the end of the era. So we appreciate you guys taking the time to watch this video today. Be sure to check us out online if you've got a military vehicle. We sell thousands of parts to be able to support all these vehicles, along with keeping hundreds of trucks in inventory, as you can see here on our finish lot. This is not all of our inventory. We normally keep around 250 to 300 vehicles in stock all the time. So you can find all of our equipment listed on our website, midwestmilitary-equipment.com, or give our sales team a call at 636-900-9046. We've had a lot of recent questions in regards to what's coming up. What do you have going on? Be sure to like and subscribe to our Instagram, Facebook, and our YouTube channel. We do a lot of posting during the week on what's coming down the pipeline, what we have in the shop, what's going to be new. In today's day and age, if you're looking for something specific and we've got it on our channel, we've got a lot of customers that follow our channel, and a lot of stuff sells before we get it listed. So really do recommend liking, subscribing, following our channels. If you're in the market for a specific truck, always feel free to reach out to us, because if we don't have it listed on our website, we more than likely have it in inventory, or we can work on sourcing that vehicle for you. So appreciate you guys taking the time to watch this video today. Like I said before, you can find us online, midwestmilitary-equipment.com. Like and subscribe. We're going to keep doing some more videos like this. Drop some comments below. Give us some feedback. We'd love to hear what you guys have to say about the videos we're currently putting out. Thanks for watching.